All right, Lisa. Lisa, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I was born and raised in Tennessee, just outside of Nashville.
Tell me about your family growing up.
Um, I had one sibling, and my mom and dad divorced when I was in the third grade. My dad was a hardcore alcoholic. He got sober about 11 or 12 years before he passed away. My brother, still to this day, like me, is a hardcore alcoholic. We had two grandparents that were alcoholics. Um, my mother was an angel, but there was a lot of stuff that happened to me that was kind of traumatic when I was growing up, like in my teenage years and stuff. Besides that,
Like, what kind of stuff?
I was in an physically abusive relationship for about a year when I was like 16, 17. And every single day I would have the crap beaten out of me every single day. And I played varsity soccer, and let's say I'd go away for a soccer game, I'd come back, and this guy would somehow find a way to be in my home, and he'd be like hiding under my bed or in the attic. And I had no idea. And this is like before cell phones, right? And I'd get home, go lay down after a long distance soccer game, and all of a sudden I'd hear the attic shh, or it'd be underneath my bed, and he'd just beat the shit out of
You
me.
were living with your parents?
I was living with my mother.
She didn't step in?
She didn't know.
You didn't say anything?
No. And he said if I said anything that he would kill my mother and my brother.
What about you getting black eyes and things like that?
What?
Were you getting black eyes and things like that?
No. I didn't have any black eyes. That's interesting you asked that. No, he never hit me there. It was just slaps and punches other places. But I don't think I ever one time had a black eye. But it was for a year, and I finally had to leave the state and moved out of state just for the simple reason to get away from him. So, and then my dad, when my dad was drinking, I don't know if you want to hear this, but really quick. When he got sobered up, he was the greatest man in the world. But when he was drinking, it was rough, and I would go spend summers with him because my mother had custody of me, right? I'd go spend summers with him, right? And it was just always, he'd be like, you know why your mother isn't answering the phone? Because she's sleeping around with other men. She's whoring around, she's a slut. And summer after summer after summer, that's all I'd hear. And one summer, right before I was supposed to go see him, sorry about my voice, I called him, and he was like 7th or 8th grade. And it took so much courage. But I called him and I said, Dad, I love you, but I'm not coming down this summer. I'm not coming down. And he said, why not? And I said, I want to be with my friends this summer. And he goes, you know what, you're a pig. He goes, you're a pig just like your mother. You're a pig just like your mother. So, yeah. Yeah, there are a few things that happened in my childhood, but those are the ones that stand out in my mind.
You've been married?
Yeah. I was married and had 3 kids, and I didn't have trouble with alcohol at all, or drugs. I don't do drugs, but alcohol is bad enough. It ruins everything. But I didn't have trouble with that at all until like I'd have maybe 1 or 2 glasses of wine a week, if that. I didn't even care. But I was married for like 12 years and had 3 children with this man. And I found out, I was so naive, but I found out that he'd been having a 5-year affair with this woman. I was living in Minnesota. There's this news anchor in New York, and she had a family with kids too. And I found out by chance he'd been having a 5-year affair with her. And I probably would have worked through that, but there've been other things that happened before, not cheating, but like loss of money because of gambling, lots of just lying. But I never thought he would cheat. And so when I found out he'd been having a 5-year affair, even when I was pregnant with our daughter, I left. I took half our 401k and I got my own townhouse. But the point is, that's when my drinking started to become bad. I started drinking to like numb out. And so it became like 2 glasses of wine a night, and then it became like 4 glasses of wine a night, every single night. And now I've been doing great. I'm long-term sobriety, but I relapsed about 2 months ago.
Where do you stay now?
I'm homeless right now. And I've never been like, I've always paid for my own home. I've had, BMW that I paid for. I've had everything. I paid for myself. But I was a living caregiver, right? And the lady I was taking care of, her husband directed Rocky, like won an Academy Award for Rocky, directed Lean on Me, directed Karate Kid, all this stuff. He's passed on. But the point is, she's very wealthy. But she was high maintenance, and I took care of her. And then she had a stroke. And so like overnight, she had to go to a higher level of caring, like assisted living. And I went through what was left of my 401k. I went through what was left of my savings. And after that, I didn't know what to do, so I became homeless.
And your kids are how old?
They're amazing. My 2 sons are 25, 26. One's a chemical engineer. They both graduated college. One's a chemical engineer. Sorry. The other is has a degree in The other has a degree in finance, and he just gets promoted. Thank you, honey. So both of my boys are doing great, and my daughter, my angel, that's my angel. She is getting ready to go to her senior year at University of Arizona for international finance. But I was a great mother. But the last, maybe 8 years, it's been off and on. And my kids are fed up with it. It's like mom will do great for a year, and then she'll fuck up for a year. Sorry about my language. And then she'll do great for 10 months, and she'll mess up for 10 months, But I try. I really do try.
What is it that made you go off the rails?
Probably 2 things. One is depression, which I've never, ever had in my life. But I think right now I do have depression. Like, I've always suffered from anxiety, right? But right now, to be honest, I think I legitimately have depression. But the other thing is my living conditions right now. And I don't have money to go see my children.
Yeah.
And all I want is to be around my children.
Living on the streets makes it harder.
I don't have money to see my kids, And my ex-husband, this is the craziest shit about it. I was a stay-at-home mom with the kids for 8 years, right? And he just kept going up and up and up in his career. Okay? I didn't, which is fine because I was blessed and I'd never take it back being able to be a stay-at-home mom. But now he's like a millionaire, multi-millionaire, and I'm homeless. And I don't even have money to go see my children. And the most important thing to me in the world is to be able to make memories, even if it's just once or twice or 3 times a year, to go see my children and have nice meals or anything. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have money to do that. But he's a multimillionaire. It's crazy. And I'm the one who sacrificed. I mean, I got the gift of being able to raise my children, but still.
Do you talk with your kids now?
Yeah. Well, one of them doesn't talk to me. My firstborn doesn't talk to me because of the alcoholism. And he's a great man. He's a great man, but he doesn't talk to me. And I raised him. I gave him so much love. I was a great mom. I was an amazing mother. But he doesn't talk to me. And I understand him being frustrated. I understand that, I don't blame him. But still your mom. Still your mother, I I gave birth to you. I raised you. Sorry, I'm crying. I knew I was going to cry. But the other two I talked to, yeah.
Do you think your relative, is it your father and then your grandparents that had alcohol problems
Yeah.
also dealt with depression?
That's an excellent question. I'd say my dad did, yes. I've never actually even thought about that, but I think you're right, yes. I've never had that in my life. I've been diagnosed with anxiety disorder, but never depression. But
No, but going through the breakup you went through
yeah.
is,
No, just
if that doesn't bring on depression, what will?
no, but honey, I was still fine through that. I was depression. I just was pissed and had anxiety, but whatever. I just kept one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. But it's just becoming without means to take care of myself. I've always provided for
Yeah,
myself.
but you can only stay strong so long, and then eventually something happens and you
And maybe that's it.
break.
Maybe that's it. This is my housing situation and things like that. I never thought I'd be in this situation in a million freaking years in my life.
So
I never thought that.
You started drinking when the kids were still in the house?
Yeah, when I found out their dad had that affair, my whole world shattered. Nothing's been the same since. Nothing has been the same since. Because it was 100% invested. 110% invested. I didn't care about another man. I didn't care about anything. Just my family, my husband, my children. That was it. I was all in. Soccer coach, Sunday school teacher, everything. I was 110% in. And when I found out that he'd been cheating, just I can't even articulate it. But yeah, it was soon after that my drinking became bad, and I've been struggling with it ever since.
If you had your life to live all over again, would you have done anything differently?
Would I live it differently? Well, I would still marry him even if he cheated, because I got those 3 beautiful children. That's everything in the world to me, those 3 kids. But I think what I would do differently is ask for more help with my addiction instead of trying to do it on my own. I would ask for more help, and I have asked for help, but I should ask for more. Because you can't do it alone. I always think I can do it by myself, but you can't. You can't do it alone. You know? And you don't need to be ashamed of that shit. That's what I would have done differently. It's probably the only thing I would have done differently.
Being here on the streets as a female makes it hard. How are you making money? How do you survive?
I have a job, but I've been there for 1.5 years, and my boss is the most amazing man I've ever known. Maybe even more than my father. It's the most amazing man. But I worked there 7 days a week. 7 days a week for almost 1.5 years. Never missed it. One time I was in the hospital for like 3 days. Other than that, I never missed one day for 1.5 years. 7 days a week. But the last 6 weeks since I've relapsed, I've been missing work. And but he's so kind that not every day, but every once in a while, he'll give me a little bit of money. Not much, but it's, enough to buy like a pack of cigarettes and maybe a small bottle of vodka or whatever. I'm just being honest. But
how much do you drink now?
I've been drinking a lot, a whole lot. Like a bottle of vodka that's like that tall, not like a handle, but like, I don't know what it's called. Like, let's say it's this tall.
Yeah.
And it's skinny. Probably one every 24 hours. And then if I run out of money, I've got a few friends that'll help me out and buy that for me. I don't do anything in return for them, not like sex or whatever, but they'll help me out with it. And it's just exhausting. It's exhausting.
Do you black out or no?
No, which is crazy considering how strong it is. But I don't. I think it's just my tolerance has gotten so high, which is pathetic. But I was gonna go to the hospital yesterday and get some medication to help me withdraw, because I withdrawal before. I've had 2 seizures.
Oh, really?
2 seizures, yeah. And this is like 5 days after I quit drinking, and I still had a seizure. And I had pancreatitis one time. So I'm killing myself. If I don't stop, I'm killing myself. I know that.
You saw your dad get clean from it.
Yeah, he did. For about 11 or 12 years before he died. And he's an amazing man once he got clean.
How old are you now?
50.
50. Is the depression getting worse, or is it better? Or?
I've never suffered from depression in my life. I mean, like the normal, like when your parents die, you're depressed for a few weeks, right? That kind of stuff, but never long term. But I think I know it. I know. I mean, alcohol is a depressant, and I think that's mainly the reason why. Because I've been drinking so much, and yeah, it's getting worse. It's not getting better, that's for sure.
Do you have friends?
What?
Do you have friends?
A few. But the thing is, it's hard for anyone to understand unless they live the lifestyle. I live the lifestyle of being like upper middle class, whatever. That's different, right? But when you become homeless, you meet a lot of people, right, on the streets. And you have people that you think are your friends. Like 98 out of 100 people are not your friends. You can trust maybe 1 or 2 out of 100 people. And that's, I'm not exaggerating, that's the truth. So I've got 1 or 2. 1 or 2, I'd say. And you can't really trust anyone. It's a whole different lifestyle than anything. I never would have fathomed this kind of lifestyle until I lived it. I never would have understood it or appreciated it until I lived it.
And the shame must be bad as well.
What's that?
The shame?
The shame? Oh, it's crazy. Shame's off the charts for me. Yeah. Off the charts. And that's probably part of the reason I'm drinking so much. And I don't want to drink. When I'm sober and in recovery, I'm vibrant, I'm way prettier, and I'm bouncy, laughing, happy, just bounce every step. And now I'm just like fading, if that makes sense. I'm fading. Huh?
What helped your father?
Yeah. He had an incident that happened, and it kind of woke him up, and he started going to AA. But he would drive. He lived way out in the country. And this is the craziest thing. He lived way out in the country in Tennessee. He would drive like an hour and 20 minutes one way to go to this one meeting. And he went like, I don't know, 5-6 days a week in the morning, and then an hour and whatever it was, 20 minutes back. But he never missed it. And he just, it's like a miracle. It was a miracle. He got well. It was all because he didn't even go to rehab. It was just AA and the fellowship. The fellowship, I think, was the main thing that helped him.
What was your favorite memory in your life?
In life or with him?
Either one.
I've got a lot of favorite memories, but if I had to pick one, I'd say sorry, I'm crying. There was one night before I found out that my husband was cheating on me, right? But he's gone. He was always gone, like 80, 90% of the time, right? And there's one night, my boys were like maybe 5 and 6, and my daughter was a baby. She had just been born. And I was laying on my husband and I's bed. It was just me and the three of them. Oh, it's going to mess me up the rest of the day. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, hon. I had one boy in one arm, laying on my bed. I had one boy in one arm, my other boy in the other arm. I had my daughter on my chest. And for some reason, I thought, remember this. Remember this moment. Remember this moment, Lisa, because it's not going to come around again. You got all three of your children right here in your arms and on your body. And they all went to sleep. And I just laid there before I went to sleep for like a half an hour just to like savor that moment. That's probably my all-time favorite memory in my whole life. Sorry, I'm crying. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Sorry.
Lisa, what would you say is your greatest strength?
My greatest strength is I'm resilient. Doesn't seem like it right now, but I am. And I love people. I have so much compassion and love for people. Too much, probably.
What's your biggest fear now?
It's not even dying. You'd think I'd say dying. My biggest fear is I just don't... sorry, I gotta stop crying because when I cry, I whine up. My biggest fear is going too long without seeing my children. Because it's almost like a year since I've seen them. I just saw them recently, but not the one that doesn't talk to me, but the other two I've seen recently, and they're amazing. They're freaking amazing. They're gorgeous, they're caring, they're compassionate, they care about people. But my biggest fear is I don't want to go too long without seeing my children. It's not even dying. It's just I don't want to go that long without seeing my kids again, you know? Sorry.
What would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
Let me think about that for 1 second. The most important lesson. I would say that I've learned a lot of lessons, actually, considering my age. But if I had to pick one lesson, I would say my mother was an angel. My dad, after he got sober, was amazing. I would say most important lesson is don't count anybody out. Like, don't give up. If it's your loved one or someone you care about or a friend, don't give up on them, you know? Just have some compassion. And they'll come back around. And I know I will too. But I did that with my dad, and my mother taught me that, but compassion and not to judge. My mother taught me don't judge anybody. And I don't. And who am I to judge anybody right now? But no, my mother was amazing. She was a respiratory therapist. She's an angel. But she taught me don't ever judge anybody. Doesn't matter like where nationality or the color of their skin or their religious beliefs or political belief, nothing. It's about like kind of like Martin Luther King said, like the content of their character. That's what my mother taught me, and I believe that firmly. So just don't judge people and give people a chance.
All right. Lisa, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, honey.
Maybe you can do what your dad did.
I will.